Welcome back, everybody. We are in May now of 1863, coming off of that battle at Little Rock, where we forced them back away, and our battle in Nashville. So at this point, what? Come on. Alright, so Crittenden's Corps is all the way up in Kentucky for some reason, with no supply. I guess they're saying they took the supply depot that we have there. Makes no sense why they would. So we're gonna have to go chase them down here momentarily. It's frustrating, to say the least, how they snuck through without us realizing it in any way, shape, or form. In the meantime, we're gonna crush everything else here as retribution. Where's the Army of Ohio? Still waiting on Bull Nelson to get recovered. He's taking a long time. So we'll actually go ahead and leave him as our defense. And we'll move the other three corps and Buell up to engage the two corps that are here and try to draw Polk and Donelson's corps into the fight as well. Once we have the supply depot built, we'll go chase down the other Crittenden with his brother. Army of Mississippi, how are we doing? Okay, the Army of the James. We did need to see if Hunter made it to Suffolk. He has. So we're going to build a fort in Suffolk to protect it for a little bit, which should cause them to have to keep fighting us there. We have two corps ready to move, but we're going to give them a little bit more time to recover in Jackson. And then we're going to push to St. Helena. And from there, Baton Rouge. Our other two corps that are going to push to Memphis are not any way, shape, or form ready. How are we doing on the supply depot down here in Dokesville? Alright, we got the engagement we were looking for. Two very understrength corps going to be attacked by Buell's men. We'll see you on the battlefield. Alright, so we did end up on the attack. We're in the Murfreesboro map. Two of our corps have already arrived. We've got two others on the way. The battle started at 1:30 in the afternoon, so we probably won't find them until it's too late. It looks like both of our corps individually have more troops than their two corps combined. Yep, they do. So this is going to be a seek and destroy mission. We are going to look for their troops, which I'm assuming will be dug in quite severely around Ashbury Church or Courthouse. I'm not sure which one that's standing for there. It looks like a church. We're assuming they're going to be dug in along this fence line potentially on the main roads. It's two separate corps that are led by two separate commanders and two separate armies. So they may be completely split up. And if they're completely split up, the goal is to encircle each individual unit and annihilate it. If we can take these two corps out of the fight, that's 18,000 men that they can't get back. We'll bring you back as we start to find them. So, following a day of marching, all of our troops have now arrived. Altogether, I think we have about 70,000 troops to their 18,000. They took more casualties overnight than we did while in Tennessee. Again, speaks to their state support in a lot of places. We did not find them in the first day, so we're going to slowly creep up with Meade, who is most likely to find them. We'll bring you back as we find them. All right, so they have surprised us. Um, it looks like McDowell's men that we just marched across this river are going to be engaging quickly with a dug-in defenders. Meade's men have been creeping up ever so slightly, and they're starting to finally find the enemy. So they're dug in pretty tight on this defensive line. However, bad news for them is we are also behind them. We've set McDowell to attack so that he can handle this himself, hopefully, while Meade handles the other corps. This looks like it's Kemper's corps. Meade, we're also going to put on an attack stance and try to scoot him up close enough to where he's going to engage whichever corps this is. Wofford's corps that has a couple units getting ready to break as it is. Their artillery's not doing real well. It says they have no guns. Actually just shows all of these men lacking cohesion, struggling mightily. So hopefully rather than having to cross a bridge into trenches with those two units, we're able to cause them to turn around and face us over here, which appears to be the case right now. It looks like they're repositioning, realizing that they're getting quickly surrounded. Hopefully McDowell can start issuing some orders for us. We're going to keep trying to throw some units over here to help out. You see a lot of very understrength units here. And it looks like they're going to sacrifice Millen's battalion to try to hold us off. Where did our cavalry just go? Did we get broken by that? Yep, we did. Collectively just getting broken by artillery blasts. We're going to keep trying to get Meade's men to engage, which will allow him to start giving orders. Somebody's engaged. McDowell. Awesome. So McDowell will hopefully start giving orders here. Yep, looks like he's repositioning. If we rush a couple skirmisher units forward, it'll let Meade engage. Where are we at with these other units? We're going to try to keep Bull Nelson's men largely out of the fight. Sweeney. We're going to try to get up on that road. Gibraltar Brigade is taking out quite a bit. It's a very understrength brigade there for Ford, while our skirmishers just got recalled, it looks like, and we should be overwhelming them with fire. Oh, that's good. Gibson's going to break. So we lost both those units that were on this bridge. They both broke. That's fine. We didn't expect this to be a completely bloodless battle. Still not seeing any orders from Meade. Another rainstorm's taking place on us here in Clarksville, Tennessee. "300-men brigade." Right now the problem is McDowell just isn't concentrating his forces. We're moving up too slowly to really do that. He's trying to, it looks like. Oh, here's Sweeney's men. Is Meade giving him the old switcheroo? He is. Okay, we'll try to fix that by issuing our own orders. They're doing the old switcheroo. Let's get our artillery just firing. I hate how they do that. Let's concentrate those guys on the skirmishers and then let them sort it out from there. Anybody else from Sweeney getting ready to join the fight? They're getting there. I'm not taking the losses I would like to be giving them at this point. Considering the losses that we're taking. But again, we're marching on people that are in a defensive position. How about Meade? How's he doing? There are quite a few feuds going on, it looks like. Some very understrength brigades here for the enemy as well. Why is Buell going to go through their lines to get to people? I don't know. Sometimes, man, sometimes I think the pathing this game comes up with, you just wonder what is going on. It looks like we broke that small brigade of Thompsons and an artillery unit. That should mean that this flank is getting ready to collapse, or this corps. They're getting surrounded pretty heavily now, with Sweeney's men coming up quick. I think that's artillery that was stolen. Yeah, it's people's detachment, so we've stolen some artillery and we're just firing canister at them, it looks like. Doles' brigade is getting spun around, trying to figure out where they're getting shot from. We're going to get Nelson into the fight. We're going to get Sweeney on an assault stance. Try to get him in the fight. are we doing? They've made commanders that I have never used as the Confederate AI, or as a Confederate player. L. Baker, I'm not sure who that is. It means I think we're at least wounding quite a few of their commanders as things go. They may lose their army commander here with all the shots being fired as he's trying to rally. I would say we're going to take this church pretty quick. Meade's men are on the case. Down on the other side. Sweeney's men with core guns are going to try to get involved in the fight. This might be their first fight. I'm not sure. A couple of smaller units are getting pinned down. Stick McDowell on an assault stance. We're going to do the same with Meade over here. I believe we already have Sweeney on assault. We're just trying to force a handful of units to surrender here in hopes of wiping out this entire corps or two. Only 3,000 casualties for them so far. I'd like many, many more for them before the end of the battle. And where we'll get a bunch of them is if we can get a unit or two to surrender. Alright, so they've retreated. Can we get anybody to surrender, is the question. Only 3,900 casualties for them. It's not what we were hoping for, but it should force them out of northern Tennessee. We'll see you back on the campaign screen. On the battlefield, or back on the campaign, not the battlefield, back from the battlefield. Let's see which direction they retreat. Hopefully, we can start funneling them out of Tennessee. I don't know where this Crittenton Corps is going. Alright, yeah, it looks like they're funneling out of northern Tennessee. We're gonna go immediately for Polk's Corps. Well, I guess not. Wrong army. Yeah, not immediately, because now our readiness is kaput. Not too bad. We'll be able to go pretty quickly, it looks like. Sweeney will run up to Clarksville to control it. We're really gonna have to go chase you guys down. That's so silly. Alright. We're gonna chase up right now because it looks like they're gonna go for Covington and Louisville, which is gonna be a problem for our supplies. We'll come make a supply depot later. The Ohio River Squadron, we're gonna hopefully select eventually and get them to protect Covington a bit. Army of Mississippi, how we doing? Hope's still light yellow. Yeah, we're not ready to take Memphis. We have built another prison camp, but it might be time for yet another. Or some of those alerts I didn't pay attention to. Okay. No, we're okay. So we'll start moving along a little bit quicker and bring you back as we start getting into a little bit of action. Well, while you were away, Leonidas Polk brought his corps out of Fort Donelson, which allowed us to send Sweeney in. Granted, he is not taking it right now. We'll actually probably assault that momentarily. But Polk's corps has attacked Nashville again. So we'll jump back in the battlefield. Hopefully we get defense. Alright, so we are actually back on the attack. And despite it saying that all of our corps would be here, only two of them are. Let's see how far away. Only about an hour to get Meade's corps here. So right now it's actually a pretty fair fight, especially if they dig in. So we'll bring you back as we start to find them. Alright, we're bringing you back because we have found their lines. Looks like we are on their flank and on their center. And lucky for us, Meade's corps arrived up here. So we're going to actually be able to surround them almost entirely. 12, he's got 6,000 men still out. A lot of units from Missouri and Arkansas over here. I won't beat a dead horse, but they're not getting those guys back if they lose them. No matter how many times they do recruitment offices, and they'll just start hitting propaganda hard. Huh. McDowell's going to keep pushing up until we can get, hopefully, into artillery range to hit some of their small artillery units. Bunch of 5-gun units here and their trench line. We will stick McDowell on attack also and let him kind of feel some things out in the center while we keep moving up with Nelson. And the hope is that Meade arrives and it's a giant hammer to their flank from both sides while they're worried about McDowell. Looks like they're already reinforcing that flank, worried that we're going to outflank them with just McDowell's men. All right. Nelson's men, we're going to try to get the artillery into place quickly as possible. All right, looks like all of Meade's men have arrived. So let's get his guys up into the fight. They didn't pick the greatest defensive position, unless we would have only come down this road, I guess. Um, they actually might have put themselves in a prime spot for getting flanked. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to him before the end of the day. All the marching that we've had to do. And we started at noon. It's already 5:30. If we can get Meade up closer. Oh, cool. McDowell's broken. They all are standing sideways. Awesome. Man, how did he get wounded? Trip and fall or something? Like, he's out here. I guess he's under fire. We're trying to get McDowell on an attack order here, but he's not even moving. Fuel's not that far away from it. We're on speed 5. We'll put Nelson on an attack stance. Man, McDowell's just not moving at all. Meade's starting to get men to the battlefield. Probably will have to wait until tomorrow to get him involved. I would say probably have to wait till tomorrow to get anybody involved at this point. There we go. McDowell's starting to move. Once Nelson issues his attack orders, we'll start moving them up a little bit closer. I unfortunately just don't think we're going to get into a fight here, so we'll bring you back as the day's ending. All right, so bringing you back to the start of day 2, we did gain a little bit of ground on them, but not enough to really start a fight. So we did get Meade up closer to the fight. Okay. Looks like they shifted quickly. We're going to zoom in quick as we can. And in the middle of the night, looks like they shifted their lines directly on top of us in the woods. Casualties overnight. I'm not sure if all those were from evening losses. Why are we reorganizing that way, McDowell? What are you doing? McDowell's going to get himself fired. That's basically what's happening here. Pulling in off the front lines. We can't see anything in those woods, or I'd zoom in a little bit more for you. We might get a decent overview here. Looking for a commander. Fife, you're gonna need to get up there. McDowell, same thing, man. Like, it's now or never. You get shot, you get shot. Buell, same thing. We're gonna have to hold that line. So we're zoomed in about as far as we're gonna be able to see anything. Looks like there's some pure chaos taking place right now. We've taken the victory location. I'm not sure how specifically, but why are we going back that way? Your guys are getting shot. Join in the fight. So we're sending McDowell's men forward for him. He's going to get himself fired potentially if we have another major general that is better than him because he's ordering troops to get themselves flanked and not supporting his own troops that are being shot at. Looks like they just used the woods completely to hide. And now they're looking to consolidate those forces. While we move up on them. It's gonna be a fight in the woods. They turned their number disadvantage into a terrain advantage. And they're gonna fight us in the woods, it looks like. I'm not sure what our commanders are doing right now. They're currently trying to not fight in the woods. I'm not sure why we're afraid of woods, but we are. Missouri State Guard is over here for some reason in central Tennessee. We're hoping to wipe it out along with some of these Tennessee troops and kind of flip any state support from the Confederate side to ours with all of their losses that we're hoping to pile up. Alright, yep, let's just get up there in the fight, man. Hey. The game has broken and is sending people to the rear to move forward. It makes no sense. At this point, we should be overwhelming them completely. It looks like we're starting to. They're being forced back from their line of defense in the woods. Parts of the battlefield, how are we doing? 4th Louisiana Regiment. The 4th Missouri State Guard. They got a bunch of Missouri State Guard in here. It's been a while since we fought Polk's Corps. There's another one. They've got a number of units routing right there in front of us, you can see. They've got artillery that says they have no guns. We're not entirely confident of that being a fact. Man, we got... Oh, that's a detachment. We got a 4-star brigade there. And it looks like another one there. Nice. Clearly the Army of Ohio has been doing a lot of fighting. We actually might need to reinforce them with the amount of fighting that they've had in the last 2 months. We might need to create a reserve corps, help us track down that army in Cincinnati area that just keeps running up north. There goes a few more units. They're not taking overwhelming casualties, but their morale's breaking pretty quick. I guess they've taken over 3,000 casualties. So doesn't feel like they've been taking very many, but it looks like they actually are. We're going to try to get everybody onto an assault. We want them out of the fight. we want that pocket of troops to surrender, if we can. So they don't have very many men left holding their front. If we can get a group of them to surrender, we'd be in good shape. There they go, right as we're trying to charge them. Let's zoom out and see if we can force any surrenders. Doesn't look like it. So they lost a little over 4,000 men from Polk's corps, which is going to put them closer to 20,000 soldiers left in that corps to our 2,000 lost, even though we were on the attack. We'll see you back on the campaign screen. So back on the campaign screen, we're going to have to do a little bit of reorganization here because some of the officers got shot. All that gets promoted. We'll bring you back as some things start to happen or we need to end the episode. They once again have come for New Orleans. And once again, they have mistimed their three-pronged assault. So we'll fight Huger's Corps for the billionth time in New Orleans. So this time, whichever one of you crossed your fingers, I appreciate you. We are once again in New Orleans. This time we're on the defense, and we're dug all the way in. We don't have mines yet, but it's coming. And we'll probably stick a little more trench line over here in case they approach on that flank with those two units that are sitting here. Maybe even extend it on this side with a unit that's here. We'll bring you back as they start to arrive overnight. Alright, we waited until they were coming right at us to bring you back. And here they come. Burndon's sharpshooters, their Sharps rifles. They're great cover. And right at the point of attack. Our skirmishers are starting to fall back, which means that they'll keep advancing now that they're starting to clear the way a little bit. But hopefully that puts them right into the line of fire. Yep, now McMillan's men are firing as well. Polk and Duke's brigades are taking some big losses to the Sharps rifles. And there they go. Looks like they're moving Wilson around to flank, or what they think the flank is. The Florida militia. It's being shot at by Lockwood. What are these guys shooting at? So they're going to keep advancing, but as they do, they are putting themselves under heavier fire. He's about out of ammo. So we're going to recall his skirmishers, resupply them a little bit. Hopefully just annihilating whatever they're bringing at us. There goes Humphreys. Looks like Wilson's about to break also. they may be calling off the attack. It appears that they're going to call off the attack here. Yeah, Florida militia just broke. Yeah, they're skedaddling. Well, hopefully when the other units arrive, we can again be on the defense and go from there. So we inflicted 1,500 casualties, about 10% of their troops are casualties compared to just under 500 casualties for us. See you back on the campaign screen. We'll finish off this episode by bringing you back to the campaign screen, giving you a small rundown of what the plan is here. We anticipate that the Department of Alabama, and I believe that's the District of Louisiana, also in here with it. Yeah. So 6,000. Where's Alabama? We just saw them. They're on there somewhere. But anyway, we anticipate about 12,000 or so troops attacking us again in New Orleans as soon as we unpause. So we won't do that until the next episode. Our plan is for these two corps to sprint down to Baton Rouge, take Baton Rouge and any supply line that they have to try to keep attacking us in New Orleans. Oh, we lost that fort. That explains some things. And then from there, those two corps will move back up to Jackson. Maybe even ride the rail. We might leave one down here, but we might ride the rails back up to retake Memphis and Corinth. Maybe leave one corps down here in Baton Rouge, along with Dix's corps in New Orleans. Maybe we'll make a new corps at the end of the year and send them down to Garrison Jackson until we can kind of start pushing these troops into Mobile. That corps that we're creating in the Army of the James here, Tyler's corps. Tyler's of retirement age, but we're going to let him go ahead and lead this corps basically into retirement. He's going to go to Florida. So we're going to invade Jacksonville with him from there, and then hopefully move to Tallahassee and take most of Florida out. Wow, okay. I've got a squadron here that I was unaware of. We'll do that so I don't forget. By being there, it will threaten enough of Georgia that we hope that it'll pull some of these troops to Mobile and Pensacola. The Army of the Ohio is going to punch hard into Charlotte, Tennessee, hopefully taking Fort Donelson along the way. Crittenton's corps has to go up to Cincinnati to chase his brother that apparently is trying to defect to the north. As Banks gets his readiness up, we're going to move to Staunton. As Hancock gets his up, oh, it is up. Alright, well, when we get back, we'll move him up as well. And we'll get ready to push on Gordonsville, probably. And while we do that, we'll probably use Hunter and Butler and Lew Wallace to start pushing closer towards Richmond and Petersburg in an attempt to draw some more troops that way. And then last but not least, in the far, far west, obviously these guys, once they get their readiness, are going for Memphis, along with these guys. This Department of Missouri is waiting on the supply depot, which is nearly done. Man, nothing's wanting to... 2 days. So in 2 days, they're going to move down to Shreveport. We have control of the rivers, so we may send Foot up here to protect them. We'll go ahead and do that so we don't forget. And this unit can come down here and blockade Baton Rouge then. We might even send these guys down the river to Baton Rouge to take it because they don't have any defenses left. So that might be easier as taking a rail line and then jumping on a ship and transport down to Baton Rouge. Might just have to send one corps to do that. Alabama will be a project for the winter of 63, maybe the late summer, early fall. We can get into Decatur and Chattanooga and really take all of Tennessee out of the fight. I'm anticipating that we'll be able to get to Memphis by August, and Corinth about the same time. Decatur and Chattanooga might be more of a September, November type of situation. Hoping Tyler's group will be able to take Jacksonville around that same time as well. So we really got a few months left until we can do those things. Baton Rouge is kind of the next big ticket here.